The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy.
Good evening and welcome to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy. Our cast of thousands, we got Henry, we got Skip, we got Ryan producing tonight's program, and we appreciate everyone tuning in. You'll hear a full scoreboard coming up in just a bit, but a reminder, we will be setting the scene for what's happening in the semifinals in hour number 2, hour 1, spending the night recapping what happened in quarterfinals in all 8 brackets in the 4 non-select divisions as well as the 4 select divisions. Some interesting scores coming in, and as you would expect, ball games a little bit tighter coming into quarterfinal round, and with the semifinals ahead, it's going to be that much more competitive. Now, we'd normally get into the program, we'd give a couple of highlights from what's happened so far in the opening drive, but I think it's probably just as well to go through and get you updated on the scores. So let's get right to it with non-select Division 1.
The Division 1 non-select playoff bracket, insured by State Farm.
Neville 31, Chalmette 7, Central 21, West Monroe 7, Ruston over Southside 49-7, and Destrehan over Airline 69-41.
The Division 2 non-select playoff bracket, presented by Investar Bank.
Franklinton over Lakeshore 41-40. Iowa a 42-28 winner over Franklin Parish. Plaquemine defeats Opelousas 35-22. And Cecilia over North Dakota 57-40.
The Division 3 non-select playoff bracket, connected by Rev.
St. James over Pine 26-7. Union Parish defeats Kinder 44-14. Sterlington in a 43-39 winner over Oak Grove. And Gina over Lauraville 19-14.
The Division 4 non-select playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Haynesville defeated Welsh. General Trass 36, Generette 22. Logan Sport over Franklin 35-6. South Blackman 42, Mangum 18.
The Division 1 select playoff bracket, fueled by Frogs at Magnolia Beach.
And the car over St. Thomas More 42-14. Catholic High defeats Rummel 14-7. John Curtis over Turlings 31-10. And Alexandria 43, C.E. Bird 32.
The Division 2 select playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care.
Archbishop Shaw defeated John F. Kennedy 21-14. Madison Prep over Shruma 14-6. Edie White defeats Vanderbilt Catholic 23-18. And Leesville over Booker T. Washington, New Orleans 50-12.
The Division 3 select playoff bracket, presented by attorney Chris Perrette.
Dunham is a 34-30 winner over Lafayette Christian. Bunkie defeats Joel Sumner 14-12. Calvary over Episcopal 52-10. And Catholic New Iberia shuts out Newman 31-0.
The Division 4 select playoff bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Vermilion Catholic over St. Edmunds 60-21. Kentwood defeats Southern Lab 50-32. And Ouachita Christian over Covenant Christian 30-14.
Thank you, Skip. Our first run through of the scores tonight in all 8 brackets, and we will be speaking with some victorious head coaches tonight as well. Looking back on the Division 1 side, both select and non-select, we see a Neville and Central matchup. In the semifinals, we see a Ruston-Destrehan matchup. But getting there was no easy task. The Central West Monroe ball game pretty tight early on. Couple of big plays really told the tale. Neville has really been cruising. And so that's an interesting matchup next week. And look, Ruston, again, another team from that district, and we've known the teams that they faced going up against a team like Southside that, Jimmy's pointed out how few times they've run the ball, or thrown the ball this year. Big up front, but Ruston's seen that and then some. And they go on now, get ready to face Destrehan. A lot of these matchups, like a Ruston Destrehan, that seems like a final matchup you would get.
Well, it was 2 years ago when Destrehan won. I think it was maybe 10-3 or 13-3, maybe something like that. But Destrehan, man, you've really got to look what they have done. And I know they've got the athletes, but just because you have the athletes doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win.
Yeah.
You go back and look what they've done over the last 10 to 12 years, and their presence in the semifinals and finals is outstanding. And, they went up to Airline, and they were just – Airline has hit their peak all year on offense. They've never really done much on defense. But Destrehan, they got their quarterback back about 4 or 5, maybe 6 weeks ago, and they've steadily gotten better. They're not just throwing the ball. They're throwing and running, and they're going to be a tough matchup for Ruston. Ruston ran the ball extremely well tonight against Southside. And after Southside tied it up 7-7, Ruston had their way with it at 49-7. And so that's going to be an interesting matchup to me. Yep. I don't think by any means Ruston walks through this.
No, you mentioned Jacksonville. They're 8-0 now with him. They were 2-3 without him at quarterback, so that's a really good one. We've said all along we didn't know if Airline's style of play would play in the big games when it gets down to it. And offensively they're good enough to put up points against anyone in the state. There's no if, and, or but about it. But their defense, when you're giving up, and I don't know if Todd, if you have it, I did not figure it up this week, but they're giving up probably right at 40 points a game. And you just can't win championships with defense. I mean, without any defense. Now, I do want to mention Ben Taylor, their quarterback, though.
Yep.
So he got thrown into the mix in the middle of his freshman year. He threw and they went 1-9 his freshman year. He threw 2 touchdowns and had 8 interceptions. His first 2 possessions, he threw interceptions of his career, back-to-back possessions. Since then, in the last 2 years, he's completed 74% of his passes for 8,176 yards, 93 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. He finished his career going into tonight was 11,955 yards, 132 touchdowns, only 31 interceptions, and he's now the second leading passer in the state of Louisiana history. So for him to get thrown into the wolves, not being ready for it, 2 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, turning into one of the best quarterbacks that's ever played. Northwestern State's getting a good one.
Justin Scoggin is going to really miss him. They're going to miss each other, because they probably built that bond that really helps them grow. And
so do you think he looks in the mirror now, or when, at the end of the year, you're going to go over everything your program's done? Do you think now, maybe without having a Ben Taylor there, do you say we may need to change our style?
Me and you and I think differently now, because we both think
it's a philosophy that they have.
I would think yes. You would think yes, but he doesn't necessarily think like you and I.
We talked to Captain Shreve, coach, about it. They just believe in, hey, and they're right in a way. If you score one more point, it don't matter. One more point to another team, it doesn't matter how many you give up. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to do that every single
You got a whole serve basically every time you have the ball, and when you don't, it really forces a lot of pressure on that defense, and Destrehan kept going and going.
That game
and going.
Turned around on 2 interceptions within the last minute of the first half is when it snowballed on.
On the select side of things, your semifinal matchups have Carr hosting Catholic High and Ash hosting John Curtis. And boy, that 19 next to John Curtis seems unusual, so throw that out the window because it's John Curtis, and when it comes time to the postseason, they've done it 50 straight times, and they know how to win. They got a coach who knows what buttons to push and win. And having a chance, it's always appreciative when we have a chance to talk to him. Spoke with him last week, on this show, and I don't think in any of our conversations I've ever gotten any kind of arrogance. Yet they've done things and they've been so successful, and you never get that from him. And now you're in a situation. This is an interesting matchup to me. I mean, seeing what Ash has done to really good football teams in their district, the teams outside of the district, what they've done in the postseason, going up against a traditional team like this who has found themselves in the semifinals and one win away from the Dome.
I've really respected Alexandria's defense. I think they've been very good, but John Curtis's best defense is going to be John Curtis's offense, keeping Alexandria off the field. And that's going to be very tough because I really like what Alexandria's done. And I think the Bird game tonight, to me, was a little bit closer than expected, but they still won it 42 to
43-32.
43-32. So that's a big win.
You mentioned John Curtis, I think, and I don't know about tonight. I would bet you they didn't have any tonight, but turnovers. They didn't have any last week in their win over Acadiana. When you look at it, Acadiana only had 5 possessions. They scored 4 times. They just couldn't get Curtis off the field. Now, you go back and you mention Alexandria. Alexandria scrimmaged Acadiana early in the year and could not stop the veer. They ran it straight down their throat. So that will be a good matchup. They have to win first and second downs. Bird, I want to mention the kicker for Bird, Asher Murray. Tonight he had a 44-yarder and a 52-yard field goal. He had a season long of 57 this year. High school kicker, 3 of 3 from 50-plus yards this year. That's impressive.
What else also impressive is Carr getting down to St. Thomas More 14-0, steadied the surge from the Cougars, and Carr just went on a 42-0 run to beat St. Thomas More. I think it was 42-14 was the final.
Yeah.
And that's really impressive by Carr because we think they're really the cream of the crop in that class. But it's still going to be interesting to see how that game matches up next week between Carr and Catholic. Now, Rummel really played Catholic as good as you can play them, and it took a trick play, hats off to Catholic, to pull off to be able to win. But for that being said, last couple of times I think Carr and Catholic have played, Catholic has won. It's been several years back. It'll be interesting how that goes next week as they play that game down at Carr.
Yeah, that's an interesting situation. St. Thomas More, if you're going into that game, you know that Carr can probably strike quick, and your mindset is, man, we got to get out to a good start. And you get up 14-0, and before you can blink, that score has changed so dramatically. And that just shows you, I think, what they can do.
That's what everybody who has seen Carr play or has played against Carr, that's the one thing they say. It happens so quick. You can be in a tight game and then boom, 21. You look in a blink of an eye, they've put up 21. Whether it's coming from offense, defense, or whatever. So that's been their MO all year. Now Catholic, they score on a trick play like Todd mentioned. That came with 3:25 left in the game when it was 7-7 after 0-0 first half. Cohen LeBlanc, the wide receiver, caught a pass. It was a double pass, and then he threw it to Amari Clayton for the winning touchdown. Now, the one thing that gave Hudson Fuller does a really, really good job of in these big games, you go back to when they played West Monroe, when they played Central, when they played Zachary, Acadiana last year, he does one hell of a job in game planning and scheming. And he'll have his hands full, but I expect this game to be close. I don't expect it to be a blowout. Now, I could be wrong on that. I am sometimes, but
you heard it here, folks.
Yeah, sometimes I am. Every time I think I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So, no, I expect it to be a little bit closer game. And Kevin Fayard's text us now from.
Is he telling you shouldn't have said John Curtis sucked 3 weeks ago?
He was the one saying it.
Oh, don't you throw him under the basket game out of your mouth. You're the one that said it.
No. The offensive
turnovers, no turnovers?
No turnovers for Curtis tonight.
There you go.
They had a pick six to get it. John Curtis had a pick six also. They had 2 interceptions.
So that puts them, what? You were saying they were plus?
They were minus six a couple weeks. They were -9, got it to -6. They had back-to-back games with no turnovers.
Giving your team an extra possession and taking that away from the other team.
What's crazy is the most points they've scored all year. It's the 3rd lowest scoring team in John Curtis history. Okay, the most points they had scored was 27 against a winless North Shore team, and then in the last 2 weeks in the playoffs they hit 28 and 31. hey, playing your best at the right time of the year. That's what it's all about.
And they are in the semifinals next week, getting ready to hit the road to take on Alexandria Senior High. So we'll take a time out. We'll be right back. More of the quarterfinal edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard presented by Lake Urgent Care. Coming up next on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Now back to the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the quarterfinals of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. We are efforting a couple of coaches right now, and in the meantime, let's get you caught up on what happened tonight. We'll go through all 8 brackets, and we'll start in non-select Division 1.
The Division I non-select playoff bracket, insured by State Farm.
Neville over Chalmette, 31-7. Central Baton Rouge over West Monroe, 21-7. Ruston over Southside, 49-7. And Destrehan over Airline, 69-41.
The Division II non-select playoff bracket, presented by InvestStar Bank.
Franklinton over Lakeshore, 41-40. Iowa defeats Franklin Parish, 42-28. Plaquemine is a 35-22 winner over Opelousas. And Cecilia is a 57-40 winner over North Dakota.
The Division III non-select playoff bracket, connected by Rev.
St. James is a 26-7 winner over Pine. Union Parish defeats Kinder 44-14. Sterlington is a 43-39 winner over Oak Grove. And Gina beats Lauraville 19-14.
The Division IV non-select playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Haynesville over Welsh 30-15. Gerald Trass defeats Jeanerette 36-22. Logansport over Franklin 35-6. South Plaquemines defeats Mangum 42-18.
The Division I select playoff bracket, fueled by Frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Edna Carr over St. Thomas More 42-14. Catholic High defeats Rummel 14-7. John Curtis over Turlings 31-10. And Alexandria beats Bird 43-32.
The Division II select playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care.
Archbishop Shaw over John F. Kennedy 21-14. Madison Prep defeats Estruma 14-6. Edie White over Vanderbilt Catholic 23-18. And Leesville defeats Booker T. Washington in New Orleans 50-12.
The Division III select playoff bracket, presented by attorney Chris Perrette.
Dunham beats Lafayette Christian 34-30. Bunkie over Jewel Sumner 14-12. Calvary defeats Episcopal 52-10. Catholic New Iberia shuts out Newman 31-0.
The Division IV select playoff bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Vermilion Catholic over St. Edmund 60-21. Kentwood defeats Southern Lab 50-32. Washita Christian over Covenant Christian 30-14. And Ascension Catholic 40, Riverside 35.
And there you have it. That's all 8 brackets as we're going through the quarterfinal round tonight. In the bracket previous, you heard, in Select Division 3. It was a come-from-behind win tonight for the number 1 seed Dunham Tigers, 34-30 over number 9 Lafayette Christian. They advance to the semifinals to take on Bunkie, and their head coach, Neil Wier, now joins us. Coach, thanks so much for the time. Congratulations on that win.
Oh, thanks a lot, Cade. Glad to be able to make that call.
Well, tell us a little bit about the fourth quarter.
Well, we got some tough kids, that's for sure, man. I tell you what, our defense early on got pushed around a little bit. You know, we knew how dangerous they were in the passing game, and so we were kind of daring them to run it a little bit, and they took our dare and shoved it down our throats a little bit. But credit to our guys. I mean, it was, 14-7 at halftime. Our defense found a way to bow their neck. Coach Leyendecker made a couple of adjustments. We started putting some more guys in there and kind of daring them to throw the ball. And, because they were up 30-13 in the fourth quarter, they felt like they needed to keep running the football, and we started getting after them. And, the best play of the season possibly, they go to throw a slant. Grant Morgan, our corner, times up the hit perfect, knocks the ball loose, and our nose guard, Elliott Tran, who weighs 160 pounds, is hustling 15 yards downfield, lays out, gets horizontal, makes the dive and interception, and then we follow that right back up with a touchdown on the first play. I mean, that right there just completely flipped the game upside on its head.
So Jimmy was telling me last week, he was talking to Leyendecker, and he was talking about Elliott Trahan, and Jimmy pointed him out to me on the sideline and says, pound for pound, they say that kid's the toughest guy on the field. And obviously he has a heart that big as well to make a play for you like that tonight.
He's all heart. He's absolutely all heart. He's an absolute warrior. He has been absolutely incredible. Our defensive line, they're the toughest kids around. They don't look like a state championship quality defensive line as a unit if you just see them in their uniforms, but they absolutely have the heart of warriors. They were just incredible tonight. That quarterback for Lafayette Christian is as electric of a player that we've played against in the 11th season at Dunham. And for them to absolutely get after him late in the second half like they did was incredible.
I was talking with, he was mentioning Neil Elliott, and I was talking with Randy Linedecker, and he was telling me the kid's a wrestler, talking about his technique, how strong he was, that he was just phenomenal. And when you look at it, heck, he can't weigh 170 pounds, maybe. Look at just guessing, but Randy just raved about the kid. So that's awesome for him to make that kind of play. I talked with Caleb today, Neil, for a good while, just trying to get his pulse on the game and what he thought. And he was, y'all's defense had put pressure on teams all year long. And he said they've really gotten after it with blitzing and coming to get them. And he was worried if he did that the quarterback could have some success running the ball as he had in other games. So my question to you, did he back off of the blitz early and then start blitzing later, or what changes did he make for y'all to have the success in the second half and fourth quarter?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We actually played early on a little different than we normally do. But they were hurting us with the run game. The quarterback made a couple of good scrambles for sure. But in the second half, and specifically in the fourth quarter, we got absolutely ears pinned back and aggressive and attacked and played the way that we've really played and called all year long. So Caleb absolutely flipped the switch and said, all right, we got to do what we do. And it paid off to get us the ball back quick. And then our offense was able to answer. He
knows a hell of a lot more than I do, Caleb, and studies the film and a lot. But I started telling him today, man, dude, stay with what got you there. But hey, I can't second guess anything he does because of the success they had. But when I hung up the phone, I was like, man, I hope if he's not having success early, I hope he cranks it up and gets it.
But Coach, dealing with these kids, momentum is such a crazy and important tool in these games, and it just seems like your defense was able to flip it for your offense, and they caught fire. Talk a little bit about your offense and how they were able to put up points in the fourth quarter.
Well, offensively all year long, we've been able to put up a lot of points. In our tight games, we have just barely missed on big shots, and we're aggressive. Jeff Hand is our offensive play caller, and he throws it all out there. We're going to take shots. We're going to throw haymakers, and we're going to eventually connect on them. And that's the way it was in the first half. We just barely missed on the opportunity to get some really big, explosive plays in the passing game. Our offensive line was tremendous tonight. The protection they were able to provide. Elijah had a lot of time to throw. We ran a lot of double moves just because they run so much just straight man coverage. And it just took us a little while before we started clicking. And all of a sudden, boy, Elijah put some balls just right on the money with a little pressure in his face. And, Jarvis Washington had huge catches for us. Trevor Heyman was phenomenal. And then Ethan Gyro, he had one catch on the night. I think he's only had one catch maybe in the last, 3 games. And that one was the one that put us up for the lead right there. I mean, just tremendous effort.
Well, if every team looks forward to playing on Turkey Week, the next greatest feeling is winning that game at the end of the week and advancing to the semis, and that's what Dunham does. And now they have a chance to host a semifinal matchup next week, man. This is awesome, Coach. Thanks so much.
Good bunky team. And look, I don't know if I've heard Neil this excited in a long time. You can tell in his voice he's pretty damn happy right now.
Nah, look, man, I'm just so proud of our kid. We talk about toughness all the time, and tough people win. And they just refuse to quit. They're just it's just such a fun group to coach. It's such great leadership from our seniors. They've been firing the guys up all week. The phrase is, on bad teams nobody leads. On good teams the coaches lead, but on great teams the players lead. And we got a great team because of those leaders.
Well, congratulations, Coach.
Look, and keep in mind, I know y'all are cashing in tonight, but you can always cash in at Investar Bank, right?
That's right. That's exactly right.
You can take some of that money to Christmas specialty foods and eat.
Yeah, there you go.
We got a 3-for-1 here. Coach, man, we appreciate
Yes,
it. Congratulations and best of luck next week.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
All right.
So,
Huge win.
Huge
You
win.
can tell it in the tone of his voice. He's pretty happy.
You know,
and he should be.
And the team they're playing next week is a team that's never trailed, never
Until
faced
tonight.
adversity, right?
Yep.
And then tonight they get down and come back and they beat a good Jules Sumner team. I'm really proud of Jules Sumner because over in the years past they've had a really good regular season. They get in the playoffs and they flop. Pine too, same thing. But they both played very competitive tonight. They didn't come out on the winning end, which they want to do, but they still competed. And you've got to be able to compete in those quarterfinal games to believe you can win when you come back there the next year. And that's exactly what Jules Sumner and Pine have done. Both teams over there on the North Shore that play and in lower classifications, but they really had a lot of they showed a lot of class tonight in their fight.
Bunkie has now given up only 77 points on the year. You go back to Dunham, they were allowing 7.6 going into tonight. Bunkie hasn't made the semis. This will be their first time since 1988. So you want to say it's going to be a defensive battle, but both teams have quarterbacks. Bunkie has the Dylan Compton kid and the receiver, Kyle Johnson. It's really, really good. You got Elijah Haven over there, who I think's the best quarterback in the state. So which way does it go? Does one of them crack the code a little bit and be able to score some points?
Parking's going to be at a premium on Segan Lane next week.
Oh, boy, ain't that the truth. But, you know, when you always go back and you look at somebody's run to the Dome and run to the state championship, you're always going to look back at one spot and say that's where things turned. That spot could have been tonight for Dunham.
I agree. And Calvary, they roll over Episcopal 52-10. Again, you know, the job Travis Bourgeois has done is really good. It's their 17th straight playoff. The last time they had won in the quarters was 2013, so it's been a little while, but you can count on them being there every year. Catholic High, New Iberia with a big win, 31-0 over Newman. One of the things that I was reading, I didn't talk to Coach Stewart down there, but they had 2 or 3 offensive linemen get hurt in the last week or so. One, I think, in the game last week, and then one at practice this week, and I'm sure that had some effect on Newman.
We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back here on this quarterfinal edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Coach Mahaffey from Walker High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Kay, Todd, and Jimmy on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Good evening and welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard presented by Lake Urgent Care. Efforting a couple of more coaches here. But first, let's get you caught up on what happened tonight in the quarterfinals and all 8 brackets, and we'll start with non-select Division I.
The Division I non-select playoff bracket, insured by State Farm.
Neville over Chalmette, 31-7. Central of Baton Rouge over West Monroe, 21-7. Ruston defeats Southside, 49-7. And Destrehan over Airline, 69-41.
The Division II non-select playoff bracket, presented by Investar Bank.
Franklinton over Lakeshore, 41-40. Iowa defeats Franklin Parish 42-28. Plaquemine is a 35-22 winner over Opelousas. And Cecilia over North DeSoto 57-40.
The Division III non-select playoff bracket, connected by Rev.
St. James over Pine 26-7. Union Parish defeats Kinder 44-14. Sterlington was a 43-39 winner over Oak Grove, and Gina over Lauraville 19-14.
The Division IV non-select playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Haynesville over Welsh 30-15. General Trass defeats Jeanerette 36-22. Hogansport over Franklin 35-6. South Plaquemine defeats Mangum 42-18.
The Division I select playoff bracket, fueled by Frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Edna Carl over St. Thomas More 42-14. Catholic High Baton Rouge defeats Rommel 14-7. John Curtis over Turlings 31-10. And Alexandria a 43-32 winner over CE Bird.
The Division II select playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care.
Archbishop Shaw over John F. Kennedy, 21-14. Madison Prep defeats Estruma, 14-6. Edie White over Vanderbilt Catholic, 23-18. Leesville over Booker T. Washington, New Orleans, 50-12.
The Division III select playoff bracket, presented by attorney Chris Perrette.
Dunham over Lafayette Christian, 34-30. Bunkie defeats Jules Sumner, 14-12. Calvary over Episcopal, 52-10. Catholic Iberia shuts out Newman, 31-0.
The Division IV Select Playoff Bracket. Restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Vermilion Catholic over St. Edmund, 60-21. Kentwood over Southern Lab, 50-32. Washita Christian 30, Covenant Christian 14. Ascension Catholic 40, Riverside 35.
Thank you, Skip. Getting our scores read tonight, and as we mentioned, in hour 2, we'll set the scene for the semifinals.
Okay, got the final. Everybody's been waiting on. Westside 63, Garrison 21.
Where they play the games?
I don't know. I don't know where they.
It's always the highlight of my week, finding out what stadium they're able to be at. They travel so much. They must have a good defense. Let's go ahead and jump back on the hotline tonight. We have head coach Toriano Wells from General Trass as they get the win 36-34 in the quarterfinal action over Jeanerette in non-select Division III. Coach, congratulations on the win. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you guys so much for having us on tonight. We really appreciate it.
It's been a minute, Coach.
Yeah, it definitely has, man. We're glad to be back on here now, though.
That's right. Hey, look, I think you've been playing possum on me at some point. You gave up 84 points and then 41 in back-to-back weeks, and since then, brother, you've turned it on and made a run to the semifinals. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you so much, man. This is a testament to how hard our kids are working and how good a job the coaching staff is doing with Max Pennington, Billy Johnson, David Guys, Jamarcus Berry, Oria Hampton. They're doing a great job week in and week out getting our kids ready to play.
Coach, did you go down to Jeanerette last night or today?
No, we actually drove down to Lafayette last night because I came to Jeanerette today.
Okay, because I thought I saw y'all had stopped at Louisiana College, or what's it called now? Is that what it's called?
Louisiana Christian University.
Yeah, y'all did y'all's practice there yesterday. Tell us about the decision to do that.
One thing we looked at is a long bus ride from Lake Providence down here, so we just stopped at LCU and worked out on our way to Lafayette to get the guys loose like we normally do on Thursdays. And said we're going to go on take the ride down here, give them some rest, and just come down and give them the best shot we can in the ball game. And we came out victorious tonight.
Coach, talk a little bit about your defense because they stepped up. You were up, 30-8, I think it was.
30-8 at half.
At halftime, and kind of in the second half, they scored a little bit there to get it close. But talk a little bit about some of your players on defense.
Well, I had a kid, Amani Williams. We had a young kid, Leo Weaver, stepped up big time for us. They came in off the bench. Young freshman of the Kyron Spree. We had a lot of guys play ball. Joshua Hopkins at linebacker did a great job. It was an overall good effort, man, by our offensive line and our defensive line controlling the line of scrimmage. They responded well in the second half when we was up back against the wall.
How many guys you got going both ways, Coach?
And we got 7 going both ways. 7.
Coach, tell us about tell us about Anton Davis.
Coach, he's special, Coach. He's a special athlete. Anytime he gets the ball, he has potential to take it to the house. He had a couple mistakes today, got down on himself, but the guys did a good job of lifting him back up. And he finished strong, got some big plays for us on defense. Jamari and Ware came in off the bench, got a big sack at the end of the game to really steal it for us.
What's really come together for you, Coach, in the 3 playoffs to help your guys get this run going?
Well, the offensive line, like I said, offensive line, he's not doing a great job. Max Pennington, the offensive coordinator, doing a great job with our offense, getting us in a good position to be successful. And Jamarcus Berry, David Guy, and then Billy Johnson is the host coach staff, getting guys in position to be successful. And then we got Coach Oria Hampton, who coached our DB. She was the girls' basketball coach, but she coached our defensive back. She's doing a great job with that.
Coach, say that last part again.
Oria Hampton, she's our girls' basketball coach. She's coaching our defensive back. So we had them ready to play. They had about 3 interceptions tonight.
Coach, that's awesome. That is awesome. You caught me off guard with that, man. I'm glad you said that. That is really cool that she's out there doing that.
Oh, yeah, she's helping us out, man. She's doing a great job, man. Great job.
Well, look, I can hear your escort. Where you guys going through about right now?
Well, we just left KFC in New Iberia. We come through there now with the lights going, the sirens blowing.
How long of a drive is it, Coach?
Man, it's about 4.5 hours now. We're looking to get back about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, that's going to be the funnest 4.5 hours you could have, right?
We just told our bus driver, Mr. Jackson, he's just eating his chicken after the pregame, so man, get us on home.
Hey, well, congratulations, man. We're great to talk to you and happy for your team and happy for your community because I know they're going to be waiting on you, whether it's 2:30 in the morning or 4. Y'all be careful.
Hey, thanks a lot for having us on. That's all y'all do.
All right, Coach.
Absolutely.
Look, so they'll advance to play Haynesville, which is second in behind John Curtis with 17 state titles. You know they're going to be there all the time. They come out with a big win over Welsh. I don't even have the – let's see, what was the final tie? 30-15. Other side of that bracket there, Logansport beats Franklin 35-6. And South Plaquemine beat Mangum bad. I thought Mangum had played a tough enough schedule. And seeing what South Plaquemine hadn't played quite the schedule other than Newman. But, man, South Plaquemine put it on them 42-18.
Well, that's
a
kind of
long trip.
Yeah, it is, and you know, it's what kind of makes me think. Why would my son be calling me right now? He knows what I'm doing.
Maybe he's trying to make a decision on whether he can put something in his Investar bank account.
Maybe he is. Might be.
Or telling you to put something on.
Yeah,
there.
probably so. Well, but you know, that's cool. That's a cool thing. You can you have that vision in your head. You see all these kids on this bus. They went through the KFC at New Iberia. They got their sirens going. They get an escort. This time of year is so awesome for that. I love it.
Special time of year.
It's a risk.
Really,
also bringing your kids. You got to know your group of kids because I've known coaches who have done that, especially down to New Orleans. I think it was Southern Lab brought them down a day early for the state championships, and it turned out to be a disaster for them. So you got to know your kids whether you can do that. I understand the thought behind of it to break it up, get a good night's sleep, then only have to drive, an hour or so from where they were. But
especially leaving on Thanksgiving,
that's still a risk. I saw a video of them practicing it at Louisiana Christian, and I thought that was them anyway. So
cool deal,
good deal for them.
It was either that or Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I'm the only one who's ever been to. By General Trass, I think, up here. Y'all gonna have to make that road trip one day.
You go fishing at Lake Providence?
I've never been fishing there.
No.
But me
that's what would have been the reason you would have been.
Josh.
Okay.
Me and Coach Josh went through there on the way to Omaha 2 years ago. Not much there. There's no KFC there.
No.
Brock's telling me Georgia Tech are 40-40 in the fourth overtime. So they got their own big time.
Well, at least that was good news he's calling for.
I know, right?
It always scares you when that call comes.
Yeah, it does. So at least he's smart enough to text. So, yeah, that's good.
Thank you, Brock.
More scores, more coaches. When we get back, this is Louisiana Prep Scoreboard presented by Lake Urgent Care, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and your view.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents.
Making the bus ride back home better since 2011. The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard quarterfinal edition. It is just about the time where we're going to turn the page and set the scene for the semifinals. But one more time tonight, Skip's got your scores from all 8 brackets in the quarterfinals, and we'll start non-select Division 1.
The Division 1 non-select playoff bracket, insured by State Farm.
Neville over Chalmette, 31-7. Central over West Monroe, 21-7. Ruston defeats Southside, 49-7. And Destrehan over Airlines, 69-41.
The Division 2 non-select playoff bracket, presented by InvestStar Bank.
Franklinton squeaks by Lakeshore, 41-40. Iowa defeats Franklin Parish, 42-28. Plaquemine over Opelousas, 35-22. And Cecilia over North DeSoto, 57-40.
The Division 3 non-select playoff bracket, connected by Rev.
St. James over Pine, 26-7. Union Parish defeats Kinder, 44-14. Sterlington 43-39 winner over Oak Grove, and Gina over Loreauville, 19-14.
The Division 4 non-select playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Haynesville over Welsh, 30-15. General Trass defeats Jeanerette, 36-34. Logansport over Franklin, 35-6. And South Plaquemine over Mangum, 42-18.
The Division 1 select playoff bracket, fueled by Frogs at Magnolia Beach.
And the car over St. Thomas More, 42-14. Catholic High Baton Rouge over Rummel, 14-7. John Curtis defeats Turlings, 31-10. And Alexandria over Bird, 43-32.
The Division 2 select playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care.
Archbishop Shaw over John F. Kennedy, 21-14. Madison Prep defeats Estroma, 14-6. Edie White over Vanderbilt Catholic, 23-18. And Leesville over Booker T. New Orleans, 50-12.
The Division 3 select playoff bracket, presented by attorney Chris Perrette.
Dunham over Lafayette Christian, 34-30. Bunkie defeats Joel Sumner, 14-12. Calvary over Episcopal, 52-10. Catholic New Iberia over Newman, 31-0.
The Division 4 select playoff bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Vermilion Catholic over St. Edmund, 60-21. Kentwood over Southern Lab 50-32. Washita Christian over Covenant Christian 30-14. Ascension Catholic 40, Riverside 35.
Thanks so much, Skip, for getting our scores gathered up tonight. And we will set the scene, like I mentioned, in hour 2, giving you all semifinal matchups for next Friday night. Just about a minute to go. I really appreciate coaches Neil Wier and Coach Toriano Wells for joining us so far tonight. Both of them excited. Both of them have unique stories to tell as they're heading into the Final Four of their bracket.
As you should be. We have David Simo lined up for the next break. We have a few more coaches in waiting. Hope to get to 2 or 3 more tonight. Anytime you can get to that semifinal game, you win on Thanksgiving week, the best week of football.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be excited as a coach. Todd, one game well, we don't have time. We'll get into that JFK Shaw game. That one went down to the wire.
We'll take that time out and
Georgia
reset
Tech
everything.
Going to 7th overtime.
Seventh overtime?
He dropped it.
Ooh. And we'll be right back here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. We are presented by Lake Urgent Care, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and your view.
Hi, I'm John D'Angelo, founder and CEO of Investar Bank. Here at Investar, we're about building lasting relationships, making the right moves, and catering to your needs because you are the heartbeat of our local community. Come on over and experience the Investar difference. Visit us anytime, any place, in person or online. And tell them that John sent you. Fans burgers are ready. Investar. Investar.
Don't have time for cold or flu?
I don't have time for the cold or the flu.
We're here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. When you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urchin Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy.
Good evening and welcome to Hour 2, quarterfinal edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urchin Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy, as we are live tonight and walking you all the way to midnight, recapping everything from the quarterfinals. A game we had a chance to catch a couple of quarters earlier tonight. Very tight ball game early on, but Central separated themselves in the second half to get the win over West Monroe, non-select Division I, and now get ready to take on the Neville Tigers in the semifinals. But the Wildcats get that win tonight, and their head coach, David Simo, joins us. Coach, congratulations on the win. A cold night, a fun football game, and, man, I really appreciate a couple minutes with us tonight.
Absolutely, man. It was a great atmosphere, and hats off to West Monroe, man. They played their butts off. They got a great football team. Proud of our kids' effort, man. It was a fun night.
Coach, you got a big boost getting Manny Williams back for the first time this year.
Man, that was emotional. Just to know what that kid's been through. And I told a couple of people, you teared up the first time he touched the ball, just knowing what he's been through. And he was on a rep count tonight. But then, when he got in there and scored, man, it was just unbelievable. And, man, the kid's an awesome kid. Has been through so much, so we're super proud of him.
Yeah, the first play that he was in on and the crowd's reaction was pretty incredible. They were certainly cheering him on from the get-go.
That was wild, man. I mean, just everybody's been so behind him, and he really wasn't supposed to play this week. And as the week progressed, the doctors were able to get some clearances and do some other checks on the just multitude of injuries that he had or whatever, and they felt good about him going forward with that rep count. So we're proud of him, man.
So, David, going into this game, I was talking with Jay Maye out there before the game, and in the pregame interview I did with Cade, I thought one of the keys for West Monroe was to make your team drive the length of the field. And in the first half, they did that. Your starting field position was like the 17, I think, -4, -8. So they did a good job of that. And then in the second half, I'm not going to say they dominated the game in the first half, but they kind of had control of it by limiting your field position. But in the second half, your defense, which played lights out all night long, gets a stop on a 4th and 1 from about the West Monroe's 20, and you go on in and score. And that really changed the ball game, I thought.
It did, man, and, that defense has been lights out all year long, Thought we came up with several key turnovers in that half, and and then we were able to punch it in with 3 straight runs out of some heavy sets type deal. And thought that kind of gave us some cushion that, get a little bit of breathing room and got them pressing a little bit. So that was huge.
Coach, one of the things that you've tried to do among a lot when you got to Central was you've tried to strengthen up the beginning of your schedule, your non-district schedule. Well, your district is strong enough, and when you look at the games – when you look back on the games versus Catholic and Zachary, how much did those games prepare you for a tight game like tonight?
Huge, man. I mean, Catholic had another gutsy win tonight against Rummel, Cecilia won big. Lafayette Christian was in a war with Dunham, So I think that playing those teams early is just grows your football team up, So I think that's paid dividends for us going down the stretch. I was proud of the way our kids came out. We knew it was going to be just a physical war against West Monroe. And again, those guys played super hard and got a great football team, man. So we were proud of what we were able to do tonight.
David, everybody knows about DK Mays. His little brother, KD Mays, is, I mean, hell, you got tired of hearing his name tonight. I know you didn't, but I'm sure the West Monroe crowd did because he was all over the field. Been playing phenomenal for you all year. But who would you say on your team is somebody that is way more valuable than people expect or think of, maybe, who's kind of an unsung hero that does things that nobody knows about?
Man, I don't know.
I know you got several probably, but
yeah, it's tough. You know, Deshaun Sheridan's in there banging at nose guard for us. KD Mays doesn't get near the pub that his brother does. Golly, if anybody that scouts us or plays against us knows exactly who he is. Marvin Joseph is a sophomore boundary safety that played his butt off tonight and had some physical hits and put on tape. Steve Rennell had a huge pick that I think is one of the best plays he's made in his career as a 3-year starter. You know, all those guys on the defensive side of the football have been phenomenal.
And all those are college recruits, but is it Blazing Stoken?
Yeah.
6 interceptions for you?
Yeah.
Somebody like him, he don't pass the eye test, so to speak, but here he is probably leading you. I would imagine that's leading your team in interceptions.
No, he is, man. Look, he's out there. He's just steady. I mean, he's our field guy, you know, and he's got elite speed, and he doesn't look like it. I mess with him. I call him an old man because of the way he carries himself, you know. But when he turns it on, man, he can flat get it.
Well, Coach, you go to a familiar place next week against a Neville team that you went up there last year and had a little success with and won that game. Kind of expecting the same type of atmosphere, same type of crowd, packed house, and another physical, tough, 2 blue blood teams that just like to play physical brand of football. I'm expecting the same type of thing.
Yeah, man. You know, Coach Collins has taken over there, and I know they've had just an awesome year under him. So, you know, we were able to go up there and got down 16-0 last year and found a way to win it 17-16. And, you know, I expect those guys are going to be chomping at the bit. You know, both of us fighting for an opportunity to get into the Superdome. So it'll be another highly competitive atmosphere, and we got to get on the road and go way up there and get ready to go play some ball, man. But we're excited about the challenge and looking forward to it.
Well, Coach, we look forward to seeing how next week plays out. We always appreciate your time on this show, man, and congratulations again on tonight's win.
Thanks for what y'all do for high school football, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you, man.
Take care.
You know, Jimmy, the thing that it was observant to me was that defensive front for Central was in the backfield all night. And, you know, whatever rhythm West Monroe was trying to get into, it just seemed difficult no matter what. You know, they had situations that were third and manageable, but they kept getting pushed back and, you know, getting out of field goal range or really, you know, early on, both teams really didn't have great field position either.
The game was going exactly how West Monroe needed it to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the third quarter, 7-7 in the middle of the third quarter, you're on your minus 20, and you decide to go for it on 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 from the 20-yard line, and you don't get it, and it completely turns the whole game around, in my opinion. I mean, you have to question that call if you're.
Well, he's had, promise you, he has a million times since the time he's done it, and he wishes he hadn't. But unfortunately, he did. But there was a reason that he did it. I wasn't at the game. He might have been getting a push that he thought that he was getting, but surely, you know, something that big. And this is where West Monroe wants to be as a program. They want to be in these type of games. It's 7-7 at halftime, right? That's like y'all just mentioned. That's exactly where they want to be.
Yeah.
And their coach Davis, I mean, he's going to learn as he gets through that, and he wouldn't do it again if he had the chance to do it. But unfortunately, when you're a head coach, sometimes you've got one opportunity to make that call. You make it for a reason, and you can't look back on it because when you do, you're going to beat yourself up. But if the Chicago Bears guy would have –
Oh, Lord. So if you know, when you look at that game, Cade, they were starting to have some success running the football late in the second half.
Yeah.
I think Central only got 3 offensive snaps in the first quarter, and one of them came on a 78-yard run where Coach Simo, they were in the wrong formation. Coach Semino's running down the sideline because he's talking to his offense coordinator on the headset, and the offense coordinator said something about we're in the wrong formation, and David's sprinting down the sideline trying to get the timeout. He don't get it. The snap goes off, and Jackson Furman breaks it 78 yards for a touchdown on a scramble.
Yeah. Well, you talk about getting another opportunity. You know, I think this West Monroe team will get another opportunity similar to this down the road because from what I understand,
Coach
very
Roor.
heavy junior-laden team. Getting this kind of experience, I can only make them better.
Saw Coach Brewerton there when we were walking out, and he stopped and talked to us for a little while, and he said West Monroe's playing 5 seniors, is it? So they'll get everybody back.
Let's get you caught up on what we will see in the semifinals next week. We'll start first on non-select Division I.
The Division I non-select playoff bracket, insured by State Farm.
Central will travel up north to Neville, and Destrehan will travel up north to Ruston.
The Division II non-select playoff bracket, presented by InvestStar Bank.
Iowa will travel to Franklinton, and Cecilia will travel to Plaquemine.
The Division III non-select playoff bracket, connected by Rev.
Union Parish will travel to St. James, and Gina will travel to Sterlington.
The Division IV non-select playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
General Trass will travel to Haynesville, and Logansport will travel to South Plaquemine.
The Division I select playoff bracket, fueled by Frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Catholic High will travel to New Orleans, play Edna Carr, and John Curtis will travel to Alexandria.
The Division II select playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care.
Madison Prep will head to Shaw, and Leesville will travel to E.D. White.
The Division III select playoff bracket, presented by attorney Chris Perrette.
Bunkie will travel to Baton Rouge to play Dunham, and Catholic Newberry will travel up north to play Calvert.
The Division IV select playoff bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Kentwood will travel to Vermilion Catholic, and Ouachita Christian will travel south to Ascension Catholic.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacteria, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you.
Now back to the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
We'll take this opportunity to thank our friends over at BSN Sports, the best applied network in sports. No matter what the season is, no matter what you need, whether it's uniforms, whether it's gear for a coach, maybe it's branding for the school, flags as you're walking into the stadium, a table skirt draped over the ticket booth, pop-up tent. It could be shot clock, goals, equipment for practicing, cones, any kind of stuff. Look, they've got the name brands you know and love, and tonight they are outfitting us with some of the winter gear that was very much needed. Probably could have gone with even an additional layer, but, man, they are fantastic, and we would encourage you and your team, no matter what the season, no matter what the sport, to utilize BSN Sports.
I see both of y'all have on the heavier ones. I also had it on, but I wore the thinner one underneath it.
Yeah.
And worked out good tonight.
This was nice
yeah.
and comfortable.
No doubt.
I've enjoyed it. Working on getting a hold of a coach right now, but I can tell you inside non-select Division III, your semifinals, St. James is hosting Union Parish, and Sterlington getting the win tonight, and they will face Gina. Sterlington defeating Oak Grove, and Oak Grove going on to that run. I believe the only loss of the season, week 1 at Calvary, and had a heck of a run, but finished up their season after their loss.
Yeah, Union
Sterlington.
Okay, so we got Coach Roor on from Gina.
All right.
There you go, winner over Laurelville tonight. The defensive battle, 18-14. Come back late in that when they were down 14-12 at the half. Coach Roor, how you doing?
Doing well. How are y'all?
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Our kids fought their guts out tonight. It was a heck of a battle.
Coach, I got to do an interview a couple weeks ago before y'all played Port Allen. It was, I think it was Austin Watley on a weekly coaches show. Did a segment with those guys, and we talked. One of the things I told them about it, I was jealous of those guys getting to cover high school football in a small town like Gina, and I mean that in a positive way, because everything shuts down. Everybody in the community is going to get those type of games. How was the crowd support tonight?
Oh, it was unreal. Created a great atmosphere, as loud as I've heard, other than maybe last year in the semifinal game, which it was both sides last year was packed. But tonight they was really fun to see them show up and brave the cold, and they screamed their hearts out the entire game, gave our guys a really good home field advantage.
Coach, you run that split back veer, if I'm not mistaken. Is that still what you're doing?
Yes, sir.
You have two backs, Shedrick Wilson and Daniel Hatcher, both over 1,000 yards. Talk about those guys.
Man, just really physical guys. They work hard, great kids, great leaders in the weight room, practice field. Daniel's a sophomore and Cedric's a junior, and both can run really well, and both pretty good-sized backs for what we have. Daniel's a really big back. He's a little over 200 pounds and can run. Ced's probably about 178 pounds and can run, and just very physical guys that really help us out in what we do. They're perfect for us.
This is it second year in a row?
Yeah.
In making a good semifinal run. You got to be careful up there, man. You're going to build them expectations, and Turkey Week's going to be all football now. No more hunting.
Well, that's what I wanted to do. I tell you, my son's a little disappointed that I hadn't gotten to take him hunting yet, but as long as we can keep playing, that's what we want to do.
Is he a football player too?
My son is a football player, but he plays Pee-wee football. He's 10 years old, and he plays a playoff game Monday.
Oh, boy.
Tell him there's plenty of hunting time after December the 14th.
That's what I told him. Plenty of time left, and not only that, you can do that the rest of your life.
Yeah, they got a few high fences up there, and if you win that, you go that far, you'll be able to go anywhere you want up there.
I wouldn't turn down an invite.
Coach, tell us a little bit more about your team. Who are some of the other players?
Well, we great guys up front for us. The offensive line does a great job for us. Scales has done a great job for us on the offensive line as a senior, Kel Parker, and they all have. But those two that kind of stand out defensively tonight for us, Caden Mersch and Jacob Belcher, Tristan McClendon had huge nights for us. Mersch created a couple turnovers for us, and Belcher had an interception, inside linebacker that was a huge play for us, and a big return late in the game on a fumble recovery that Mersch had created and gave us an opportunity to run the clock out and come out winners.
Coach, did you play Sterlington earlier in the year?
We did not.
Okay. What do you know about them as far as next week's semifinals? Let's see, you go to Sterlington.
Yes, sir. I know they're a very well-coached team. I have a lot of respect for Coach Doty. He's a guy that I've leaned on over the years for advice and stuff. And, of course, they've got an outstanding program over there. Very physical team. They're going to run the I-veer mostly. They'll get the gun some. And I know they're going to be keyed up to try to go and play in the state championship just like we will be. But hopefully our guys will stand up to the task. They've done it so far the last few weeks. We're playing our best football right now, and that's what you want to do.
Well, Coach Roor, we think you're doing a great job. Obviously, you are back-to-back years up there going to the semifinals, and who knows, man, but you got an opportunity. You got a 50% chance next week. You get to strap it up, and good luck against Sterlington.
All right, thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Coach. St. James and Union on the top half, Sterlington, Gina on the bottom half. Again, kind of surprised by Oak Point. They were going for a three-peat. Moved up in classification this year, won 3 of the last 4. Right. Just 10 straight wins after their week 1 loss to Calvary. But when you look at Sterlington, their losses, they're 8-4 or 9-4 now. Their losses were to Ouachita, West Ouachita, Neville, and Union. So
but they just hadn't been playing really good ball until the latter part. You know, I mean, Union handled them pretty good, who we're working to get Coach Spataro on right now.
You lose the Downs kids, quarterback, receiver. They go over to Bastrop and had 3 guys competing, and then one of their quarterback gets hurt late in the year, and I think he's back now. So, yeah, but that's still a big win for Sterlington. Got somebody, Ryan?
Coach Joe Spataro.
All right, well, let's go ahead and welcome Coach Spataro onto the program. Coach, congratulations on the quarterfinal win tonight, and thanks so much for a couple minutes with us tonight.
Oh, glad to be with you guys.
Coach, we just got your spot reserved at 11:20 every quarterfinal for the past 6 years. We just got your name written in, so you're doing a good job of fulfilling that for us.
Hey, I appreciate it. Y'all just keep doing that for me, too.
Hey, talk about this year's team, man. I mean, We talked a little bit earlier. You had a tough schedule at the beginning of the year, and it's really paid off for you on the back end like it always has. But your team seems to be playing really good football with a big dominating win tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's been like pulling teeth to get these guys to seems like to get them to play as good as they can all year. I just kept asking them, what are y'all waiting on the playoffs? And I guess they were. But ultimately they've gotten better every week, and that's all I can ask.
Coach, tell us about Taquarius. Is that how you say it, Wilson?
Taquarius Wilson, yes, sir. He's
linebacker, running back.
Yeah, the first year he's played running back. We just came into the season, didn't have a running back, and so we took our best defensive player and put him at running back, and he's still playing defense too. And but he's doing a tremendous job both ways. He went over 1,000 tonight rushing.
Over 1,000 yards and 131. He was 918 going into tonight and 131 tackles. So yeah, he's doing. I'd say he's doing it on both sides. Pretty good.
It caused him to. He's mad about he's missing a few tackles right now, but other than that, no, he likes touching that ball. I can tell you.
How big is he, Coach?
Shoot, Ty's 5'11", 170.
Well, on the other end of that,
best ball players I've ever coached.
Wow.
Coach, on the other end of that, last year in the Superdome, I took a picture of DeMarco Knighton in the Superdome, and I put it on Facebook, and it got over 7 million views. That cat is worldwide known. Not that he's not big enough anyway, but, I mean, everybody knows who he is. And, look, he calls me for the they had a fundraiser, and I put him on there, and he sold out on that fundraiser, too.
That's exactly right. I would tell you that dude, he's large, but he's larger in life. That young man's got the biggest heart you'll ever meet, the kindest young man you'll ever be around.
6'1", 398 he's listed as.
Look, Coach, and you're not afraid to pull him. I know last year in the Dome against St. James you were pulling him. I'm sure you're doing the same thing this year.
Hey, I'm going to tell you what, tonight he was smashing him. He's pulling and setting that edge, and that son gun did a heck of a job.
You have another big one in Ari Slocum, 6'4", 275.
Yeah, he's a big old boy. He's getting a lot of looks and offers right now. I had a first offer the other night from Missouri. Or he's just a junior. He plays tight end for us, but he's an old lineman. But he does such a good job, and what we do is setting that edge for us. We leave him there. And
the Henderson kid on defense also with over 100 tackles for you.
Yeah, Javion, that guy right there, he's got a motor like Taquarius. He's just a go-getter. He loves to be out there playing, and he's hard to stop.
Well, Coach, next week you face a familiar foe in St. James. You defeat them last year in the finals. This one down there in a tough – I don't know if you've ever played at St. James. It's a tough environment to play in. A really good team. Coach Levante Davis does a good job, as you know. So it's going to be one hell of a ball game down there for you guys next week.
Oh, no doubt. We played there in 2019, and they beat us in the semis. And I'm going to tell you, that's one of the funnest atmospheres I've ever played in.
Well, Coach, I would tell you could stop by the house and I'd feed you, but not with DeMarco and who else? Ari. And Ari Slocum. I can't feed them too.
I got a couple of them big old boys you don't want to feed. I promise.
Well, Coach, man, we appreciate your time tonight. Congratulations on this win. Best of luck in the semis taking on St. James.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Coach, and before we go to break, looking at their 4 losses this season, all 4 teams played tonight.
Yeah.
And 2 of them advanced the next week. You play these teams, and what comes to mind after looking at that is nothing's going to surprise you or nothing's going to intimidate you going into a semifinal week. You've seen some of these. They've played in that atmosphere with St. James. They've been to the Superdome. You've played Calvary, Ash, North DeSoto, Airline, seen different types. I think your team, not an arrogance, but a little bit of a confidence. Like we might have lost these games, but we've seen these teams. What are you going to throw at us that we're not ready for? We feel like we can do it.
Who's in this district? Who's the district game?
Let's see.
You have it up there?
So district games are Green Oaks, Homer, North DeSoto, Calvary, Darbon Woods, and Magnolia.
District.
For Union?
Calvary's in their district?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that score?
That was a 24-14 loss.
So a lot of times, when you're trying to schedule it, a lot of teams will have terrible districts.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's not their fault, but so you have to look at non-district games to where I got to go heavy. I have to schedule heavy to get what I need to play at the end of the season, where in some districts, like the Catholic League and the 2-5A League and Central Catholic Zachary, you're going to get good opponents in the district. Mm-hmm. So you got to kind of balance how you make your schedule out.
Yeah.
But I don't think Coach Spat cares.
No.
I mean, because he wants to play Ruston, but you talk about a team that takes on the personality of their head coach. He's a little feisty dude, man, and he ain't backing down to nobody, and his team ain't backing down to anybody. And he lets it be known early, and he fights, and his team fights, and it's going to be a brawl next week at St. James, that's for sure.
And they finished the regular season against Sterlington. So, yeah, they've certainly played a lot of good football teams, and they are not afraid of what's ahead. But St. James, a good football team, makes for a really good semifinal.
They handled Sterlington pretty good, right?
31-23.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Look forward to seeing that one. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back. This is the quarterfinal edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. We are presented by Lake Urgent Care. This is 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge in your view.
Don't have time for a new rash?
I don't have time for this.
We're here to help with convenient virtual visits on your computer or any mobile device. If you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Don't have time for a stomach virus?
I don't have time to be sick today.
When you're sick after hours or weekends, you don't have time to wait around. Save time.
Coach Brandon Brown, the head football coach at director at East St. John High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Last Friday in November, second to last show of the season, as we will take you through the semifinals next Friday, and that'll wrap up the 2024 season for Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. We appreciate everyone who spent some time with us. We'll look through both select and non-select semifinals here in just a bit, but let's get you caught up on what we will see in the semifinal round in all 8 brackets, and we'll start first on non-select Division 1.
The Division I non-select playoff bracket, insured by State Farm.
Central will travel to Neville, and Destrehan will travel to Ruston.
The Division II non-select playoff bracket, presented by InvestStar Bank.
Iowa will travel to Franklinton, and Cecilia will travel to Plaquemine.
The Division III non-select playoff bracket, connected by Rev.
Union Parish will travel down to St. James, and Gino will travel to Sterlington.
The Division IV non-select playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
General Trass will travel to Haynesville, and Logansport will travel to South Plaquemine.
The Division I select playoff bracket, fueled by Frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Calicut Baton Rouge will travel to New Orleans to play in the car. John Curtis will travel to Alexandria.
The Division II select playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care.
Madison Prep will travel to New Orleans to play Shaw, and Leesville will travel to Thibodeau to play E.D. White.
The Division III select playoff bracket, presented by attorney Chris Perrette.
Bunkie will travel to Baton Rouge to play Dunham. Catholic New Iberia will travel to Shreveport to play Calvary.
The Division IV select playoff bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Kentwood will travel over to Vermilion Catholic, and Ouachita will travel to Ascension Catholic.
Thank you, Skip, getting our scores read tonight. We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially those inside the 104.5 ESPN YouTube chat. A couple of comments. We got James in there. Bunkie with a great win tonight, indeed. Tony Guidry wants to give a shout out to Cecilia with their big win. Randall, 8 overtimes for Georgia to beat Georgia Tech for those following the college ball tonight. The AC Dogs with a winner. Get a shout out to Ascension Catholic there, and way to go, Ruston. Shane inside the 104.5 ESPN YouTube chat. We appreciate everyone chiming in tonight. Jimmy Roy, we got a guest online?
Yeah, who we got?
Matt Dor with Big Catholic New Iberia.
All right. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time tonight here on quarterfinal week. What a way to win your Turkey week and advance to the semis. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Coach, let's start with Luke Landry, man. What a phenomenal year. 30 going into, I had him with 31. Well, now after last week, 35 touchdowns and only 1 interception. You talk about taking care of the football.
Yeah, he's had a great year so far. He, he reads defenses, does a really good job taking what's given to him and not trying to force the ball.
Coach, it seems like I'm going to, in general, that your team, Jimmy really liked your team going into this week's game, and it's for a good reason. You guys have been playing really solid football from, middle of the season on, if not all season. Talk a little bit about your team and what's really come together for you to help you guys make this run to at least the semifinals with a chance to get to the Dome.
Yeah, we have a lot of real experienced guys who've been playing. I mean, our teams, a lot of them have been playing since their sophomore year. And they do a good job of preparing each week from from the weekend all the way until Friday night. They've matured throughout the year, and they handle adversity, handle changes. But, they go out there and execute the game plan that we come up with on the offensive side and defense side of the ball. And we take advantage of mistakes teams make, all the time. Pretty much every time we get a turnover, we find a way to score points off of it. So, our guys are just playing really good football, playing really hard football, and executing really well.
Coach, talk about Jaden Mitchell.
Yeah, Jaden's a great player. He's a big part of our offense. Even if he's not getting a lot of catches, he's a decoy, and teams are trying to double cover him most of the time and try to take him away, which opens up other opportunities for Luke to throw the ball to, and he gets his opportunities here and there too. And even when he's not getting the ball, he does a good job downfield blocking and doing those other types of things.
Coach, I don't know. I know Newman suffered some injuries along their offensive line, and I don't know. Have no idea if they played tonight or not, but I heard 2 or 3 of them may not. But even before some of that information came out, you felt like your defensive line matched up well with Newman, even though they have a couple really big guys on that side. What made you feel that way?
Yeah, our guys play with a high motor. We're not the biggest up front on the D line, but we move really well. We have good athletes up there, so we knew even with those big guys that we had an advantage in the quickness and all that kind of stuff. One of those 2 big guys did not play tonight, so that obviously affected them negatively in their game plan and all that kind of stuff. But I was very pleased with the way our D line and our linebackers played. Getting pressure on the quarterback and making him uncomfortable back there.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard tonight. Congratulations on this win, but hey, just one step closer, more work to go to get inside the comfortable Caesars Superdome. So we appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck next week.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're on a roll. That's 11 straight wins for those guys. So
well, look, we talked about the middle of the week. They are middle of the season. Franklin, they shut out. Delcom, they allowed 6 points. Lorville, they beat 40-7. West St. Mary 51-0. Houma Christian 49-7. They had some points scored against them against North Lake Christian 59-22, but Newman 31-0. It's going to be an interesting matchup up there with Calvary, especially since he's talking about that defensive line and linebackers. You need an active group there to be able to play Calvary.
Let's stay on the select brackets and go over to Division II. Your semifinals are number 1 Shaw and number 5 Madison Prep, and then number 3 E.D. White and number 7 Leesville. Madison Prep gets in there. We thought they would, but hats off to Estruma. 14-6 ball game, very tight ball game. For them to be in the quarterfinals, what they've done the last couple of seasons for Coach Sid and that group, congratulations on I would consider a very, very good season. And Shaw has seen some adversity. I think JFK, we know, despite their seeding, their record based on a couple of forfeits, probably better than what it could be, or there could be much better in this situation. A tight ball game there, and now you got Shaw, Madison Prep, E.D. White, and Leesville.
Yeah, on that side, all the games were close except for the Leesville, Booker T, Washington. When the thing with Shaw and JFK, we knew JFK had only 1 loss on the field, and that was St. Paul by 2 points. The big news, ended up 21-14 after 14-14 halftime score. The big news out of that one, though, was Jasper Parker, the Michigan commit, the running back for Shaw, went out with about 5:21 left in the third quarter. He did not return, do not know his status. Hopefully he's healthy and good to go. Like you mentioned, Estruma and Madison Prep. That game surprised me how close it was, 0-0 at half, 14-6 Madison Prep win. Congratulations to Sid Edwards and his staff on a great year, and hopefully he can go do some good things in the mayor's race in these next couple of weeks. Landry Williams and his guys, they've been playing extremely well after their first 3 losses to open the season. E.D. White scores.
It was like 30 seconds to go?
Yeah, with like 30 seconds left to come back from behind. They had jumped up to a 17-6 halftime lead over Vanderbilt Catholic. Vanderbilt Catholic takes the lead 18-17 with 11:35 left. E.D. White scores with 30-something seconds. Leesville rolls tonight. Xavier Ford, I was talking with Todd earlier, he has, going into tonight, he has 2,993 yards. He needs 445 yards to break the single-season rushing record in the state. That's held by Cedric Skinner out of Oberlin in 2010. Number 3 was Cecil Collins. He passed him tonight, and Mark Henderson from West Washita. Both of those were in 1996. So at 445, he probably, I would say he got a couple hundred tonight if the coach wanted him to. I don't know how early he pulled him or not, but he'll have a chance next week to set the state record. Probably.
You have that dude on speed dial. Why don't you text him?
I may have to try. Let me see if I can text
Leesville, I don't know.
He didn't get as many yards as he did this week, though, he'll tell me.
I don't know the exact distance, but I'm thinking that's quite a drive for the Wampus Cats to go down to Thibodaux next week. And if you're looking for shortest, longest drives, that may be on the side of one of the longest bus trips for the Wampus Cats. Would it be an interesting atmosphere down there in Thibodaux for that group? The last time Edie White participated in a state championship match, it was when they were held on the campus of UL Lafayette. So this is a chance to
they lost to U-High 14-7.
Have a chance to go to the dome and play it, and that would be cool for that group.
Yes, it seems like it would. It would be a lot of fun.
So as we look to wind down tonight, want to go back on the non-select Division II real quick, and I want to leave that one because that also features a Baton Rouge area team. You know, hats off to Plaquemine, what they continue to do. Now you take on Opelousas, no easy task there. You get the win 35-22. Cecilia, a team that keeps plugging away at it. And now we got a Cecilia-Plaquemine matchup next week across the river, and Franklinton and Iowa on the other side.
On that top half, Franklinton.
I'm not ready to go to top half yet.
Okay, well, go ahead.
I want to know for somebody to go out there and look and tell me if there has been a road dog go all the way through on the road and get to the Superdome. That's where Cecilia's at right now. Yep.
Probably not because they just changed it 2 years ago.
You're right. You're right.
I know there have been some teams who have made some incredible runs going on the road and having to play some really good teams. I think Zachary had Destrehan, Acadiana, and maybe West Monroe on a stretch back one of their state championship years, but no, they probably don't. But on that top half, Franklinton had won 35-28 against Lakeshore earlier in the year with 22 seconds left. This one, again, 41-40 game.
Salty win.
Franklinton was 3-7 last year. A lot of close losses. Here they are, the number 1 seed, and will advance now to play Iowa, who tied 28-28 at half against Franklin Parish, was able to pull away.
Last Franklinton team to win a state championship, was that the year, was it McGee? Young man went to LSU.
I think they may have beat Neville. I'm not sure.
Shane Smith was the coach.
Yeah.
But Franklin Parish, I thought, would be able to handle Iowa, who advanced in the semis. And Franklin Parish's only loss was to Washita, and it was like 28-28. And then all of a sudden, Iowa was able to pull away from that and win 42-28. But I was a little disappointed. Franklin Parish has never been to this point. But I thought they could really get further into the semifinals, but unfortunately they couldn't. But, if your team was Franklin, you had Franklin Parish, and Franklinton all in the quarterfinals.
And frankly, it was a good week for you. Yeah.
If we'd just had some Frankie hot dogs.
Hey, maybe next week, close things out.
Righto.
And look, a lot of continued. We haven't had a chance to see him in person, but the young man Mosby is really just running.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
This is Plaquemine's first semifinal since 2014. They're playing extremely well. That's 12 straight wins for them after their loss to Zachary. This one surprised me tonight. I thought Opelousas would win that game. But, Todd, I don't know if anybody's playing better than Cecilia.
Plaquemine. I mean, you could arguably say Plaquemine. But I think when you start looking at who they've beaten, that might be a different story because their road has been very difficult, having to beat Pearl River, then Lutcher, now North DeSoto, and now they got to go to Plaquemine. But, hey, I think Plaquemine's playing as good as any. I mean, beating Opelousas 35-22 is very impressive for me.
Helmet stickers. When we get back, it's Louisiana Prep Scoreboard presented by Lake Urgent Care, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and your view.
Don't have time for cold or flu?
I don't have time for the cold or the flu.
We're here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. When you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our #1 priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacteria, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 360.
Now back to the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, just a couple minutes left. Let's get to tonight's helmet stickers.
Highlighting tonight's top performers. This is Helmet Stickers on the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show.
And Coach Todd Black, I'll start with you.
I'm going to General Trass in Transylvania, around Transylvania.
Yeah.
Lake Providence, General Trass making it to the semifinals. I think that's a big win for them. They're getting my helmet sticker.
I'm going with Dunham, coming back 21, scoring 21 points, unanswered points in the fourth quarter to beat a a good LCA team that ended their streak. Last week we had St. Charles in their streak of state championship appearances at 5. Lafayette Christian had played in 7 straight state championships. So I'm giving it to Neil Dunham and the Dunham Tigers. Neil Wier and the Dunham Tigers.
We got you.
Yeah.
I will take the defensive front for Central tonight, man. They played outstanding. They have throughout the season, but again, seeing them in person, I think West Monroe is a good, borderline, great football team. You know, we know the competition they face, but that defensive front brought it again tonight. They have all season and really sets the tone in a lot of ways. West Monroe had won the toss and elected to receive.
Yep.
So that defense got on the field early and really got after it. So hats off to them.
All number 1 seeds are still alive, and only 3 number 2 seeds are still alive.
Lowest seed is Cecilia, or am I?
Going in with Chalmette.
Okay.
Yep.
24. Cecilia
18 seed.
Probably so. Yeah.
Oh, John Curtis is 19 seed.
Oh, there we go. Interesting. The lowest seed is John Curtis.
And the 2 seed that lost, I think, is Lutcher.
Yeah.
A lot of 2 seeds lost. We don't only have 3 of them still in it.
Oh, I forgot. There's more than 4 brackets.
Yeah. 8.
So, look, we look
Better
forward
9.
to having everyone back one more time. Next Friday, we'll get together and do this again. Catholic High and Carr, and then we'll follow that up with the semifinal weekend of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. For Coach Todd Black, Coach Jimmy Roy, I'm Cade Wazan. We'll see you next Friday night.
Hi, I'm John D'Angelo, founder and CEO of Investar Bank. Here at Investar, we're about building lasting relationships, making the right moves, and catering to your needs because you are the heartbeat of our local community. Come on over and experience the Investar difference. Visit us anytime, any place, in person or online. And tell them that John sent you. Fans burgers are ready. Investar. Investar.
Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, Our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.